Do you know what differentiates running from walking? The flight phase of your stride. That makes running an activity where you have to leave the ground. So in other words, if one foot of yours is always in touch with the ground, you're not running. That makes running essentially a single leg sport. We are hopping from one leg to the other. And that's a good summary of the sport of running. A series of highly coordinated hops from one foot to the other. And so, as your virtual running coach, I want to ask you a very important question. What are you doing to get better at single leg strength exercises? Because the stronger you are with each leg individually, then the easier running will be, and the faster and less injury prone you will be. So in this video, I want to talk about 3 of the most effective ways to build single leg strength into your training so that running can feel a lot easier for you. So let's start by talking about the number 1 most effective way to build single leg strength. And that is, obviously, I hope this isn't a surprise, with single leg strength exercises. Now, I want to give you 3 of my favorite single leg exercises that you can do at home with no equipment, and let's do them in order of difficulty. So first, let's start with a marching bridge. A marching bridge is an exercise where you'll be on your back, putting all your weight on your upper back and your feet, and you're going to be driving your hips up into the ground. You're going to be making sure your hips stay level and then alternating a marching pattern with your legs. By driving your heel into the ground, this is a really great way of working on your glute and hip strength and stability in a way where you're doing one leg at a time. But it's not nearly as difficult as some other exercises because you are on the ground. You're not standing up doing a single leg exercise that is a little bit more demanding. Now, the next exercise is a classic. It's one of my favorites, and you can make this really easy or very difficult, and that is the step up. Find maybe a 12-inch or maybe even as high as 24 inches of some sort of step or box or chair or other stable surface that you can step up onto. And by competently and in a coordinated fashion, stepping up onto that step and really driving that opposite knee up, you're really going to get a phenomenal single leg stimulus that's going to help you develop not just strength, but a whole lot of coordination as well. And our final exercise is the pistol squat. Now, the pistol squat is a one-legged squat. It is difficult. It is not easy. I fall down probably once a week trying to do pistol squats, but I'm still trying. And a pistol squat is essentially having you squat down with only one leg. It can be very challenging, both from a coordination perspective and from a strength perspective. But if you can gradually work on this skill, you are going to be such a stronger runner, and in a way that is extraordinarily helpful for injury prevention as well. We also have an entire strength routine that is dedicated to single leg exercises called the MACE single leg routine. Definitely check that out if you feel like you have imbalances or you really want to work on your single leg strength. Our second way of building single leg competency, strength, and coordination to make running easier is by doing more technical trail running. Now, a lot of the times I'm talking about how trails is kind of a misnomer, because really what we're talking about is off-road running. I don't care if you're running on beautiful grass like this, or a crushed cinder path, or a dirt trail. All of those are trail running. But if we're trying to increase our single leg strength and coordination, it's much better to run on more technical terrain that's going to challenge you in more ways. And the additional stress of rocks, roots, big divots in the ground and lots of turns and elevation changes is going to better help you develop that single leg strength. By the way, big shout out to Mario Fraioli and the AM Shakeout team for this amazing shirt. Thanks, guys. It's super comfy. I love it. All right, our last tip does require a piece of equipment. And I very rarely talk about equipment on this channel because I do think that you can get most of the value of training and really improving your fitness with not a lot of equipment. But I have found one piece of equipment to be extraordinarily helpful at building single leg strength because it is a piece of equipment that's supposed to be used with only one leg. Now, I'm gonna go home and I am going to demonstrate this piece of equipment called the Mobo board. It's really interesting. It's one of the things that I have found over the last couple years that I'm really excited about personally, because I struggle with some imbalances as well. So thank you to its creator, Jay DeSherry. I had him on the podcast a couple episodes ago. I'll link that underneath this video. But this is an incredible piece of equipment that can really help you get rid of those imbalances because it forces you to develop strength on each of your legs independently. Let's go check it out. Here we go, the Mobo board. Let's check it out. Oh yes, this is such a simple but innovative tool to help you build single leg strength. So I'm really excited about the Mobo board, but I'm not going to do a full review or demonstration with the board right now. Probably will save that to a different video, but I just wanted to put it on your radar because it is a really innovative tool that you can use, and you put those half circles in these slats and then it essentially rocks back and forth. And so by standing on this Mobo board for 30 seconds or 1 minute and then progressing to doing a variety of exercises on the board, you are not only working on single leg, but the board does a great job of forcing you into the right positions and forcing you to fire your muscles in just one leg exactly the way that you should. So if you're someone who is maybe performance oriented, so in other words, you have some big running goals, maybe you want to, qualify for Boston, you want to run a certain time in a race, then I think it's going to be really helpful for you to invest in a tool like this because it's just one of those things that professional runners and faster runners are starting to use because it's just so effective. It's not some crazy fad tool, but it really focuses on a fundamental single leg strength while helping you do it a little bit more competently and effectively. So I love this thing. I'm really going to start using it more. You're probably going to start seeing it in future videos. So definitely subscribe so that you don't miss any of those. And if you haven't yet listened to the podcast episode where I talked to Jay DeSherry all about injury prevention and similar themes as this video, then you're really going to love it. So definitely check that out. So if you are someone who struggles with injuries, if you can't seem to get healthy, or if you're a more performance-oriented runner who really wants to leave no stone unturned as you ramp up your training and really go after that big PR or whatever distance or performance-oriented goal that you might have, I hope you are focusing on single leg strength and competency. The suggestions we talked about in this video are going to help a lot. So check out the MACE single leg routine. Definitely start trail running if you can. And if you're someone who wants a little bit more, if you're a little bit more advanced, or if you're just very injury prone, the Mobo board is really awesome. So I hope this was helpful. And in the meantime, I would love for you to subscribe to the Strength Running channel. We publish a new video every single week. And don't forget that podcast episode with Jay DeSherry. He goes into so much depth on what it takes to stay healthy, what it takes from a strength and coordination and general athleticism perspective to not only stay healthy, but reach your potential. I absolutely love the conversation, and I think you will too.